What's going on, people? Good morning. I'm Brad.
I'm Miguel.
And welcome to episode number 69 of Let's Talk Movies. Today on the show, we have a whole lot to talk about. We're talking I almost said super major. A super rehaul that is coming of the DCEU since the Warner Brother Discovery merger has finally ended. And there's been a little bit more about that in the last couple of days that's come out. Since our 68th episode, which was kind of our whole rant session about that. We're talking updates for Thor, Love and Thunder, plus The Last of Us. We're talking the new villain of Stranger Things Season 4, some other Marvel updates. It's going to be a good time. We're going to have a good time together on Saturday, April 16th. Is it 16th? Yep, Saturday, April 16th. So hope you are having a great start to your weekend, by the way. Very, what?
No, I just gave my dog peanut butter, and he's losing his shit.
I bet. He's probably sitting there going...
He really is. I wish I could show you guys.
You're welcome to those of you who are listening on Spotify. So, let's hop right into this. I don't even see a point in waiting. Let's hop in. Do you want to start? You want to start DC? You want to start some movie updates, Stranger Things, Marvel? Where you want to go first, Miguel? The world is your oyster.
Let's stick with DC last, because I feel like if we talk about it, we're gonna go
we're gonna sit
really
here and talk
far.
About it the entire time.
Yeah,
I agree. Oh no, I know where I want to start. So a week ago, this was what, Monday, I think. I came home from all the Thor, Love and Thunder stuff broke, and I came home and I filmed a 15-minute video about that. It was just me, but Miguel was working. Filmed a video, got done, thought it was great. Sat down to edit it real quick to get it out on YouTube, and the whole thing was gone. I had the beginning and the end and the entire middle. It was messed up. So fast forward to Thursday morning, my wife and I were traveling. It was in the lobby of our hotel, and I look. I open my laptop and I look, and there's the file. There's the 8 minutes of lost footage that I just didn't have, and I was like, "Are you?" So whatever. I was like, I'll edit it when I get home, but the time has passed. So let's talk about it here. On Monday, Mr. Gravitas on Instagram, he is, I'm not even going to try to say the gentleman's name. No offense to him. I just don't want to say it wrong. Chris Hemsworth's, I believe he says hashtag India Thor. I believe he's the Indian, as in India, the country. He is Chris Hemsworth, his voice actor who plays Thor in the overdubs of the film. He posted this picture on Instagram. You can see it if you're watching with us. He said, hashtag Thor Love and Thunder trailer done. Can't wait for you guys to see it. Yippee. Hashtag Thor, hashtag Indian Thor, at Marvel, at Disney India. So the trailer's done, which is a question that we've had for ages now. People have been like, dude, where is the Thor Love and Thunder trailer? Like, it's been an eternity. I mean, and it has, I think it actually broke records for Marvel. I think Thor Love and Thunder comes out like July 1st. Is it July? Let's check.
It's pretty soon.
Thor Love and Thunder comes out July 8th. So July 8th. So, I mean, we're not like too far. We're only a couple of months away. And we've still got no teaser trailer, no nothing. I think no Marvel movie has ever gone this close to a release date without a trailer or anything. I mean, other than a cast, we haven't seen any footage. We have some toy leaks, which we're gonna get to in a minute because we have thoughts on that. But we haven't seen any footage, so it's good to know that the trailer is cut and it's done. My bet, and I said this in the video that got lost. I said this in that video, but I kind of think that they're wanting to attach this trailer to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. That would be my bet, because I think that people are going to come out in waves to see Multiverse of Madness. I mean, they're predicting this movie to be crazy. And if you look at the ticket sales for Multiverse of Madness, like, it's done some serious ticket sales. I believe it sold more in the first 24 minutes than the Batman sold in its first 24 hours, which is like wild. I mean, that's crazy. So people are definitely wanting to see that. And Multiverse of Madness comes out Thursday, May 5th, or Friday, May 6th, I think. One of those two. My bet.
Oh, shit. Marvel, that's literally less than a month.
I know, it's 2 weeks. That's 2 weeks away. Marvel's got a tendency to drop trailers on Monday mornings around 8 or 9 o'clock Pacific. So I would get that if we don't get the trailer on Monday the 18th, we will get it probably around the 25th. I don't think that they will release it on May 2nd, which is the week Madness comes out, because they're going to want that full week to really just shove Multiverse of Madness down your throat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're going to want to market the crap out of that movie that week. So I think if you release the Thor trailer the week of the 25th, that last week of April, that gives you a full week for everybody to do their breakdowns and reactions and buzz about the Thor Love and Thunder trailer before the next week shifting all of their focus back to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So that's kind of my prediction. Listen, I'm not a betting man, but if I had to bet on it, I would say it's coming out on the 25th.
I would say it's probably going to the 25th.
25th, that last week of April, Monday morning on that last week of April.
Let me see, because in my head, I was thinking it was going to come out right after the ending of Moon Knight.
Or it could do that too. I think that's too late though, because Moon Knight's still got 4 episodes?
It's halfway through.
3? Is it? Are we halfway?
3 more. So
oh, it's got 6, doesn't it? So we're halfway.
I would say
that put us at? We just had
beginning of May. I could see a trailer coming out.
So we just had episode 3, episode 4, episode 5, episode 6. Well, that would put. So the final episode of Moon Knight comes out on the 4th.
Yes.
I think that's too clustered, though. I think to have Moon Knight, then the 4th Moon Knight, the 5th the Thor Love and Thunder trailer, and then the 6th Doctor Strange. I think that's too much. Marketing wise, I couldn't see them doing that.
Well, you ain't the marketing boss, are you, Chief?
No, I mean, I'm not Kevin Feige or anything. So, I mean, I don't know. But that's kind of that's our thoughts on the trailer, and I am excited. The logo looks a little bit different. If you're watching on YouTube, the logo
is very
kind of this grayish
Masters of the Universe.
Yeah, it looks a little bit different than before. It was that orange and blue. It was very colorful, and it's kind of not. It doesn't look like that, at least in this picture. So the other thing we wanted to talk about related to Thor: Love and Thunder was a couple of toy leaks that came out, and to be fair, you kind of have to take this with a grain of salt, because when you're looking at the Marvel Legends action figures that sell in Walmart and Target and Kroger and places like that, Kroger and Meijer, like, you can't. It's a little 6-inch figure that's got only however many points of articulation, and you can only do so much with the head sculpt and things like that. But there is art on the packages. We got our first look at Gore the God Butcher, played by the great Christian Bale, which I was super excited about, and I'm still excited about it. This isn't like a complete buzzkill, but this is the full list. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see it on the screen. The full.
If this is a spoiler and you don't want to know what he looks like, please. Yeah,
that's fair. If you don't want to see
something else right now,
then don't. But I mean, it's out there now. Yeah. So we had 4 or 5, 7 action figures that were leaked, which I'm sure, to be fair, it's hard to not leak it, because I'm sure these things are sitting in every Walmart and Target in the United States right now, in the United States and Canada. Like, I'm sure they are, because they got to get that stuff out there. So the 7 toys, we had Mighty Thor, We had Groot. We have Gore the God Butcher. We have King Valkyrie, which is an interesting thought. We have Star-Lord, who is sporting a full beard, by the way. We have Ravager Thor, and we also have Thor. And Thor is in his comic book accurate, if you think the comic book accurate headgear and kind of the helmet and the colors and all of that. So
he's got the cowl back now.
That's he
what
does. 3 different versions of Thor, a couple of Guardians, Valkyrie, and Gore. Now, the interesting one about this was Gore, because this next picture here, we have we have Star-Lord, and then we have Thor with Stormbreaker, then Gore the God Butcher, which we're about to come back to, then Groot, Ravager Thor, Jane Foster with Mjolnir, which I'm confused how that's coming back, but we'll see. Well, actually, no, because he got Mjolnir, right?
No, yeah, he sent it back.
Oh, yeah, he did send it back, right?
And if you look, okay, we'll talk about it, yeah.
Plus Valkyrie, and then another Thor with Stormbreaker. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, in most of the pictures you see with more recently now with Mighty Thor, you see that Mjolnir it's this universe's Mjolnir. It's just glued together. It looks like a vase that a kid broke and desperately tried to put back together before their parents came back. Yeah. So yeah, which I mean, cool. Obviously, it's probably not going to be as strong if it's like, put back together in that way. But I mean, who knows? I could be wrong.
Yeah. Well, the interesting figure here was Gore the God Butcher. Now, this is a close-up of Gore. Now, I don't know about you. It looks like Voldemort with a nose and robes. That's basically what he looks like here. I'm not digging the look of
He
Gore.
looks like a member of the Cult of Thorns.
He does. Like, it's very strange looking. And again, I know it's an action figure. You can only do so much. But here's the thing. Even if we zoom in on the side of the box that has more accurate art, it just looks like Christian Bale painted white. It doesn't, there's no, all of that. Look, if you look at a comic book accurate version of him, he's an
alien.
Villain. He's an alien villain. And he's got like the tendrils coming out of him, almost like a Davy Jones thing. He's got the cloak pulled up over his head. He does have a nose, but it's almost like it's like Voldemort, where it's almost like you just have 2 little slits in his face. It's not really like a full nose that sticks out. His eyes are kind of sunken back in and separate. Like, he's a really cool looking villain. And I'm kind of wondering why they decided to go with this more humanized look of Gore, because he could listen. I know a lot of people say that Marvel won't go full on scary, and Gore has the potential to be a scary villain.
Boy, Zombie Doctor Strange is scary as fuck.
We're gonna see. I mean, hopefully.
That's why I'm confused. Guys, stop gentrifying the fucking outer space. What the fuck, guys?
Yeah, I don't know. I just wish he looked a little bit more alien than he does, and who knows? Maybe he doesn't. Maybe this is just a. Maybe this is really just the action figure art. Who knows?
Maybe this is just like how he starts. I don't fucking know. But what I don't get is why the fuck is that, like, Marvel, you've been doing so good right now with like making things like so realistic. I'm trying to think, what was the other one that was kind of unrealistic?
A lot of people didn't like Thanos though too.
Boy, fuck off. Thanos was dope. Fuck you.
I know. I thought he was fine.
It was as close as
I'm just saying there were people.
It was as close as you could get. At least he had like the clip, like the fucking combed up chin, I guess.
The ball sack.
Yeah, at least he had the ball sack, I guess. But this one, it's like you're literally like they literally saw the picture of Gore the God Butcher on the comic books, and they said, "No, we're not gonna go with it." It's like, bro, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like Davy Jones looks like Davy Jones. Right. Voldemort looked like Voldemort, at least from like, I guess not probably all the Harry Potter.
Actually, Voldemort looked different in the movie.
Okay, well, fuck off. But nevertheless, this ain't Warner Bros. All right, this is fucking Disney. Get your shit right.
They need to hire Miguel as a motivational speaker for Marvel Studios, because like they would like play the film for you and like you'd sit and watch it, and you just like you pull a Shia LaBeouf where you're like. You're just silent through the entire thing, and then as soon as it's over, you're like, I didn't know we were starting the DCEU. Like rip them apart.
But I'm sure you guys can agree with me that, looking at this picture
Yeah.
and then with the action figure picture,
Ain't that.
that
Like,
ain't that.
That ain't it, champ. Like it's just
That
not.
ain't
I don't
it.
know.
If I was watching, if I did not know this movie was being made and they told me Gore the God Butcher was in there and I knew who Gore the God Butcher was, I'd be like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah.
You would think if you saw this with no prior knowledge and you just saw the toys in Kroger, you'd think, what's Lord Voldemort doing in here? Multiverse of Madness.
Well, here's the thing,
Voldemort's coming back.
It wouldn't be quite as bad if they took the nose away, but I don't know. The nose really
looks really different to me, man.
I literally just see Christian Bale, but looking like the dude. Listen, it's Christian Bale, but it's like Voldemort and the dude from that movie Powder had a baby. Like that's basically what this is. You never seen that movie Powder?
No.
I think I haven't seen it in ages. I think he's albino. Like something happened and but he's not. It was like a lightning strike or something. I don't know. I'll have to go back and watch it. I
know who the fuck you're talking about. Damn, yeah. That's an old movie.
Fuck. That is an old movie. I don't remember that at all.
It's a very taboo movie.
So yeah, I don't know. Let us know what your thoughts are on this version that we're seeing in the toy leaks of Gore the God Butcher. By the way,
I know who to compare it to. I know exactly who to compare it to.
What?
He looks like Caliban in Logan.
Yeah, you're right. He does.
Yeah.
And that sword that he has, I forget.
It's the Elder Wand.
I remember. I know people are going to tear me apart. I forget what the name of the sword is, but it was made by Null, which is the god of the symbiotes. He is the creator of all symbiotes. So this sword is actually, which is kind of weird to think about, but this sword is going to have ties back to Venom and Carnage.
Bullshit. It's going to take liberties.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie though, if they change that's gonna piss a lot of people off.
Maybe, yeah. You see how like the fingertips really are kind of like getting black too?
Yeah, they are.
I don't know. Maybe it's just like a things to come. Maybe this is like version 1 of like Gore the God Butcher, and as he kills, I think as he kills, he probably like the more gods he kills, the more like you don't like that. Well, get fucking used to it, dog, because we might see it.
I really don't. Hunter Iggy's in the chat. What if this is true about the Overhaul DC? Would you see Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck and Gal Gadot back as the main DCU?
No.
Would we like to see them back? I don't know. We're gonna.
I would love to see them back.
I mean, yes and no. I feel kind of torn. I really think, and I know you were watching the show the other day, and I really think DC needs to stick to telling standalone stories for a while. Like build up this new Batman thing, build up, but at the same time, I understand why they wouldn't want to do that if they do plan on doing a universe thing, I don't know, man. It's such a mess. Like, I really don't know what.
This is where I would like go against my own nature and say, stop chasing the bag.
Don't go chasing waterfalls.
Yeah, just stop chasing the bag, man. I'm just saying, just start making great movies, like for fuck's sakes.
Yeah. I don't know, man. So let us know your thoughts on Thor: Love and Thunder. We are going to get to the DCEU towards the end because we do want to get to some other stories as well. Let's go over. You want to do? Let's talk The Last of Us. Is that cool with you?
Okay.
I have an update on The Last of Us TV series coming to HBO Max. Let me close these million other things here. So, The Last of Us. Pedro Pascal says HBO series is in good hands like The Mandalorian. We would hope so. Plus, the star reveals he actually sucks at video games, which is pretty interesting. Pedro Pascal compared HBO's TV adaptation of the iconic video game franchise The Last of Us to the hit series The Mandalorian, underlining how the creative team of both products are passionate about what they do. Talking to GQ about the upcoming series, Pascal also revealed he lacks the proper skill to play video games, and he asked his nephew to guide him through the first Last of Us game. That's pretty funny, actually. I think that's hysterical. The Last of Us game takes place in a post-apocalyptic world where society crumbles after a pandemic turned people into vicious zombie-like creatures. Wow, almost sounds like it's 2020 coming to life. Set 20 years after the outbreak, the game story follows a smuggler named Joel who's charged with protecting the teenager girl Ellie. Ellie is immune to the deadly disease, and Joel must escort her across the country towards a research center that hopes to study the girl to find a cure. In the series adaptation, Pascal will play the part of Joe, while Bella Ramsey was cast as Ellie. Now, listen, I'm not a Game of Thrones guy, and I know go tomatoes at your screen, whatever. But I was kind of like, really? That was who they got to play Ellie? Like, she doesn't see Ellie. You know, if you've played the games, Ellie is kind of a rough and tough. I mean, she grew up in this apocalyptic world. So obviously she, you know, like she curses and, you know, in the video game, like she was looking at a porno magazine. She was like, what the hell? Like, what is this? And, you know, he was like, stop looking, you know, like she's a rough and tough girl. You know what I mean? She's grown up in this world. And at first I was like, is Bella Ramsey going to be able to portray that well? And my wife and Miguel, who have both seen Game of Thrones, were like, yes, like she'll be perfect for that kind of thing. So
yeah.
So you're still down?
Lyanna Mormont was a fucking badass.
Yeah.
If you saw that. If you saw in the loot, dude, Lyanna Mormont literally fought a fucking frost giant. Like her. She's queen. And she fought a frost giant. Like, take a look at that. You can't get more badass than that.
The thing that makes The Last of Us so good is and I admittedly I have not finished the second one yet. I'm about halfway through. I rarely have time anymore, and I hate that because I love playing games.
Sorry,
but
man, you had to grow up.
I know, right? You really it sucks not having time. But the thing that made that story so good is not only did they do the zombie apocalypse thing really well, but they also did this building of a relationship. I mean, the game is really about Joel and Ellie building a relationship to the point where he ultimately, spoiler alert, decides to save her at the end because they're going to kill her to try to get the cure, and he decides to annihilate everybody in the hospital to save her. And he lies to her about it. You know, she's like, yeah, kill me if that's what it's going to take to save humanity. Like, yeah, do it. And he pulls a really selfish card and is like, you know, he loves her. He can't just leave her there to die. So, I mean, that's what makes this so good. So I'm glad that they got, you know, a lot of people, and my choice was Hugh Jackman to play Joel. But I think Pedro Pascal is a really good choice too, because I think he can really pull that dynamic range. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if he can form a relationship with a green little specimen and make it emotional,
a CGI specimen that's not even real.
Yeah,
yeah,
he do all right with Ramsey.
Well, and you know, I really hope. Listen, this series could be amazing. It really could, because you know, Joel is he's kind of a complicated character. Like, you know, when we're introduced to him at the beginning, like as the outbreak is happening, you know, he's a single dad. He's trying to do his best.
He's a single dad working 2 jobs, trying to.
Seriously, like he gets home late and he doesn't even remember it's his birthday because he's working so much. And I mean, his daughter gets him a present, and like and his daughter dies at the beginning of the game. And then we cut 20 years into the apocalypse, and he's kind of a cold. You know, he's 20 years older now and he's cold. He's, you know, he's not really very trusting of people. And it's just like this game about, you know, he builds this father-daughter relationship with Ellie. So I think Pedro Pascal can really bring that to the screen, and it'll be pretty cool. I'm excited.
I saw the ad and I was like, is Will Ferrell going to be in this movie?
When asked if he had played the original game that inspires the series, Pascal revealed that he sadly was incapable of doing it. As the star puts it, I tried, you know, and then it was only a matter of minutes before I had to hand it over to my nephew. It really takes a specific kind of skill, and I don't have it. Which, by the way, that's the first official image of the show. That's Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey in the very first image of The Last of Us.
I mean, what do you think?
It looks cool. I think it looks really good.
It looks like the hill that Rick Grimes and Negan fought.
I know, right? It's like the final battle between like the.
I feel like if you're gonna make like a zombie outbreak movie, you guys like every single studio just get the same sets. Yeah, like here, try to make something out of it.
Well, this is going to be interesting because this game takes place all over the country. I mean, it really does. It's a journey of what?
It's not. It's gonna take place in like the tri-state area at best.
Do you think so? But I mean, you travel through Boston at one point. Boston. You go through a whole bunch of different places in that game. So, I mean, it's not like The Walking Dead where we do kind of stay in like the same, you know, few areas. Like we really don't leave. I mean, the main series, we don't really go in too many different places. So, but I think it's a cool looking image. I'm really excited about this one. Genuinely, I really am. According to Pascal, not being able to play The Last of Us might be a blessing in disguise, as he could take a healthy distance from the game's character to create his own version of Joel. Even so, Pascal was was astonished by the visuals and storytelling of The Last of Us, at least the part of the game he got to watch. As Pascal explains it, I watched for as long as I was able to that day, and then I had to leave to Florida. I found Joel so impressive. I found the whole of it such a visually impressive experience. And then I got worried that I would want to imitate too much, which I think could be right in some circumstances, and then make a mistake in others. So I just wanted to create a healthy distance, and for that to be more in the hands of Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann. Neil Druckmann is the guy who created the series. Even though Pascal wanted to avoid getting too attached to another version of Joe, HBO's adaptation of the beloved video game series is being handled by the game's creative director Druckmann and The Last of Us superfan Mazin. So it's far to expect that the upcoming series will remain faithful to the game's acclaimed storyline. Even so, as Pascal puts it, fans of the game will have a few surprises watching the show. And he also said there's a very, very creative way of honoring what's important and also preserving what's iconic to the experience of the video game, and also things that you wouldn't necessarily expect. I forgot how to speak for a second there. And then directions that you would expect it to go, and it might not. They're doing some really smart things, is all I can say. It's similar to the way Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni treat The Mandalorian, and how Mazin and Druckmann are treating The Last of Us. It's in good hands because they love it so much. Well, clearly Neil created the video game, but Craig loves it so much. So it's really made for the people that love it. And there's some very intense storytelling for people who might be less familiar. The Last of Us cast also includes Nick Offerman, Anna Torv, Merle Dango, Nick Parker, Gabriel Luna, Jeffrey Pearson, Murray Ballett, and it is, set to premiere next year on HBO Max.
Are you serious? Ron Swanson's going to be in his fucking TV show?
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what he plays.
I forget who he's playing.
I hope he doesn't play someone that dies quickly. I want him in this story a lot longer.
I wonder if he's playing Joel's brother.
Really?
Joel's brother is in that game too. Like at the beginning of the game, when the outbreak is happening, you actually play as his daughter for a second, because she gets up out of bed and the news is on and Joel isn't in the house. He's gone. It's the middle of the night, and her uncle she wakes up to a call from Joel's brother, and he's like, "Baby, you need to get dressed right now. I'm on my way over to your house. Where's your dad?" And she's like, "I don't know." And a zombie runs through, and Joel runs in and kills the zombie. And it's Joel and his brother trying to get his daughter out of there, and you're driving through like the apocalypse. I mean, it's a hell of an opening to a video game. It really is. It's spectacular. If you have not played The Last of Us, I strongly encourage you to play it. It's maybe in the top 5 best games I've ever played. It's phenomenal. So, and this series has the potential to be really great. So
yeah,
super excited.
If it's made by HBO Max, I hope so.
Yeah, and Pedro Pascal really seems very positive about it, which, I mean, that's his job. They pay him to be positive about it, but he seems very optimistic.
I don't know. I feel like he does. I feel like he holds his own on almost every single role he's been in. I'm excited to see the one with him and Nick Cage.
Do you think that's kind of, I mean, he was kind of talking about not wanting to steal too much from
that's the only thing that I'm worried about.
Joel. I mean,
but what I'll say is the script that's being made is by a fan. So
yeah.
I'm sure he can take liberties to some degree, but he has to follow a script, or else
you were right about the you were right about the storyline not following like the first game, though. You know what I mean?
Is it not?
They said it was there would be a few surprises. Like it's not gonna go in exactly the same direction as.
Yeah, because why would it?
Right, because it would be.
Why would it? Why give this job to a director and tell him don't do any of your artistic stuff, just follow what the game is? You think a director's ever going to do that? Never.
But it's the same thing as The Walking Dead. A lot of people are like, "Well, that didn't happen the same way as it did in the novel," and it's like, "Well, yeah, because you would know everything to expect if it happened the same way. Like you got to have surprises in there,
Yeah.
So, interesting enough. Where you want to go next? We got 3 more stories. We got DC, which we're going to save for the end. We can go Stranger Things, or we can go some interesting Marvel news.
Let's go into Marvel.
Do.
I don't think you heard me, guys.
Dude, I did hear you. So, interesting news coming out of the Marvel universe. And if you're a Walking Dead fan, The Walking Dead meets the MCU. What the hell? There we go. This comes to us from Giant Freaking Robot, which is I don't want you to go away, which is a really cool inside source, and they have a great track record. I don't know why, dude. This thing attacks you with Google ads like the minute you show up.
Yeah, keep trying, buddy.
Whatever. So Giant Freaking Robot exclusive. Andrew Lincoln is in talks to join the MCU. Interesting, right? With The Walking Dead set to finally leave the air, wrapping up 11 seasons of zombie takeovers, infighting, outfighting, and much more, we know that we are going to begin seeing some of these actors and actresses in very different settings moving forward. Such is the nature of the industry, of course, with The Walking Dead acting as a launch point for a number of folks' now successful careers. That's true. A lot of people have gotten their start from that show.
Yeah, look at look at Michonne. She now plays Okoye. Yeah. And look at even side characters at best. Because who is the kid? Who was the guy that who just disappeared, and now he played as Dr. Dre.
The guy who played Heath.
Yeah, Heath. I forget what the guy literally disappeared. No, in the TV show, not him in general. In the TV show, he just disappeared. No explanations whatsoever.
It's kind of a joke in the Walking Dead community. They're like, I don't care how the show ends, but I just want to know what happened to Heath. It's been 5 seasons, and he just disappeared. There was just nowhere, and they acknowledged it for a couple episodes. Heath is missing. We don't know where he is. And then it was just oh well, and we just moved on without explanation at all. So that's
hold on. Let me look at because there was a funny thing. I'm sure Julia will love this because it's the same. It's the same thing that happened with one of the actors in Game of Thrones. I forgot who it was. It was Robert Baratheon's bastard son. He was gonna be killed, and he was, and all of a sudden
I've
they
seen
said,
that part. I know who you're. Yeah,
they said
I know something.
I think he gets saved, and then he says, just go on the boat and start paddling till you get back to King's Landing or something like that. And then he disappeared for the rest of the season, for the rest of the show until the last 2, and all of a sudden he's back. It's bro. There's a running joke. There's a running joke around about the show, and he's just know that this other guy is just paddling his boat through the fucking sea or some bullshit like that.
Dude, what if it because everybody, it's confirmed that Andrew Lincoln is coming back to the Walking Dead universe to play Rick. Rick is going to come back. That's a given. But what if I think everybody's kind of expecting the show to end with either they're going to reveal Rick at the last second, or what if it ended instead of a big Rick reveal, we just glossed over Rick coming back, and the very end of the show, it's somebody walking out in a field and they turn around and it's Heath, and then it cuts to black and be and that's the end of the Walking Dead.
Heath makes a turn and says, "Hello, guys," and then black, kind of like The Sopranos,
right? Well,
no, before before he says hi,
at least we know that Rick survived. We know we saw Rick blow the bridge, and but Jada saw him wash up on the she saw him all washed up on the bank, bleeding and dying. You know what I mean?
Wet piece of plastic bag. Yeah,
I know, right? So at least Rick, we know he's alive, and he's somewhere. He's still alive in the universe. We just don't know where. Heath, literally, it was just he was there, and then the next minute he wasn't, and he never came back, and that was it.
Yeah.
The actor won't really comment on it either. The guy who he has he won't. I know, I feel there's a plan there, But could you imagine coming they come to you as an actor, you've been loyal and faithful to this show for 3 or 4 seasons, and then they come to you and they're listen, your character's leaving, but you're gonna have to wait probably 5 or 6 years for him to come back, and just be are you kidding me right now? Really?
Well, then I guess I'm gonna join NWA.
Straight out of Compton.
Yeah.
So Andrew Lincoln is set to join the MCU. He could be going from the zombie world to the superhero world. Details on how Andrew Lincoln could join the Marvel Cinematic Universe are light right now. Not much is known about what possible character or characters they're discussing or how he could ultimately work into the mix. On that front, there seems to be no shortage of possibilities these days, considering the studio only seems to be in growth mode. That's true, man. That's a great way to put it. With more and more movies announced and a number of different series still in the works coming to Disney Plus, the next few years are going to be chocked. The MCU's gonna choke the shit. Shocked, full of MCU goodness. While some of this phase is already set, there are still movies and series like Fantastic Four, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Secret Invasion, Ironheart, and Armor Wars, among others, that haven't been fully ironed out. As for Andrew Lincoln, well, before he potentially joins the Marvel Cinematic Universe, there's plenty to work out in the franchise that really put him on the map. The Walking Dead is in its final run of episodes, having just wrapped the mid-season finale this week. There are still 8 episodes left to go in the original story of the survivors of the zombie apocalypse, with plenty of more spin-offs on the way. And while we know that Andrew Lincoln as Rick Grimes is still alive in this universe, it's unclear if or how he'll make his way back into the mix before the original series draws to a close. The actor has been spotted in around Atlanta where The Walking Dead is filmed. That's true. He was suspiciously in Atlanta for... Yeah, I think he posted a picture, or somebody posted a picture of Norman Reedus, Andrew Lincoln, and Greg Nicotero like eating in Atlanta, and everybody was like,
suspicious.
Yeah, why y'all you're filming the final season and he just decides to show up? Like, really?
Yeah. I about said I was counting the cast. Bro, he would be the 7th person to like join like the DC or Marvel universe. Because if you look at it, look, Lauren Cohan was in there, John Berthal, the Guerrero, sorry if I fucked up your name, but it's Michonne, and Lauren Ridloff, who plays fucking forgot her name. She was the speedster and in Eternals.
Yeah.
What's Michael his name
Rooker. Is Michael Rooker. What's his name is what's his name who plays Red Skull? The guy who plays Aaron. The guy who plays Aaron. What's his name?
Yeah, fuck. I forgot all about him too. Holy shit. He should be on here. Oh wow.
Yeah. What is his name? Holy crap. That's gonna kill me.
Aaron.
I know his name is Aaron in The Walking Dead. I know his name in The Walking Dead, but I don't know the actor. I do know the actor. Ross Marquand. That's his name. Yeah. He's a good actor, dude. He really is. I've come to like him a lot.
I mean, yeah, he's got the most useful tool in the entire Walking Dead universe right now.
Yeah.
He has a metal arm with a spike hand.
Well, they essentially gave a lot of Rick's storyline to Aaron from the graphic novel.
What, like he gets a hook?
Well, Rick loses his hand.
Yeah.
The governor cuts off Rick's hand, and Rick has the whole ball thing, and and they gave a lot of the storyline about leading Alexandria to Aaron. Aaron is kind of the leader of Alexandria now, so they did a lot of that with him. J-Dead's in the chat. Hey yo, just got here. How many words has Brad mutilated so far? Hey,
no, fucking 7.
That's not
7. I counted it. I think it's 7, dog. So far since you've been here, 7.
Oh my god. Oh, anyways, good to have you here, man. Let's see. I was in the middle of reading something and we completely lost track. That isn't 100% clear. There we go again. 100% clear at this point. Though it would make a lot of sense for the trajectory of the franchise, because while he hasn't been a part of the main series for years now, there are plans for the Walking Dead movies with Andrew Lincoln taking one of the lead roles. It's looking like 3 movies in total and will supposedly focus on what happened to Rick when he was scooped up by the helicopter in season 9.
Bro, tell me why he looks like Aaron. Tell me why they both look kind of similar.
They really do kind of look similar.
Yeah,
they honestly do. Dude, Rick's going to come back and they're going to look at each other and be like,
I see you're copying my beard.
Yeah, it's going to be a Thor and Cap moment.
Yeah.
I see you copied my beard. But yeah, I have a thought, and I sent this to Miguel yesterday. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see this. Okay, hear me out. It seems a little crazy.
No.
But Andy Lincoln is Reed Richards.
No.
I could see it. I think it looks dope. Now, this looks weird because it literally just looks like you put Rick Grimes' face on Mr. Fantastic.
No, yeah, because look, I'll say this.
Weird.
I will say this, bro. Rick Grimes looks like a bitch when he shaves his beard.
Why?
Beards are literally the push-up bras for guys.
Dude, every time he shaves his beard in the show, every time Rick shaves his beard in the show, that's when he goes all like, like he goes all American Psycho on everybody.
Exactly. Like he looks so weird when he shaved his beard. Whenever he got to Alexandria, I was like, oh fuck. But yeah, it's like, bro, no.
Well, do you remember even when he shaved his beard, Carol said he walked out and Carol was like, I haven't seen that face for a long time. It's been since like season 2 he's had that beard, man. That's years in the making. I could see it, man. I could really see it as Mr. Fantastic. Now, he might have a little bit of
any strong-jawed person on that picture right there, then yeah, you can see anybody.
He does have a pretty pronounced jawline, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He would be like an older, more seasoned Reed Richards, though. Like he becomes Reed.
Here's
Richards,
the thing:
like
he'd be like the Mr. Like he'd be the Reed Richards, but like the evil one with like the helmet on Secret Wars.
Ooh, J-Dead says Andrew Lincoln would make a great Doctor Doom. I don't know. I don't know if my soul could handle seeing him as a villain, though.
You sure? Even I feel like the fucking Walking Dead.
That would hurt me. Oh, J-Dead. LOL. Always good to be here. Favorite channel, mutilated words and all. Favorite channel, dude. That's awesome. You're the first person to ever tell us that. That's amazing.
Mutilated words.
I don't know. I hate all of you, but it's fun. It's okay. All right, I understand. I always feel the love from you guys. So let us know who else would he be really good to play in the MCU. Like I was trying to think like what other. I hope it's not an obscure character because I like him. I think he's a good actor.
Bro, no, that's what Marvel has done recently. Have you not noticed? Like, there's been a lot of like really like
talented,
critically acclaimed actors, but they play small roles. Yeah.
They're like in a weird obscure role that you're like, I wouldn't have ever thought of that.
Like,
you know?
What's his name? I forgot. The first person to meet Star-Lord. I forgot what his name. He was in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Stallone? Are you talking about Stallone's character? I always thought it was weird. Like
Stallone's character was so small and everything.
Every time I watch one of the Guardians movies, like part of me, like I always forget that Stallone is in there, and then I see him and I'm like, oh crap, yeah. Like I'm like, oh yeah, Stallone is in this movie. I completely forgot up until this point.
You'll never be a Ravager. You'll never have a Ravager funeral.
Also, Ravager Thor. That's interesting.
Hey, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. That'd be dope. Can you imagine Thor just stealing like, just a shit ton of things? Well, I mean, I don't think that's their thing. Wait, no,
it seems like Thor's going to have like 20 different costume changes in this movie, though.
Hey, that's Taika Waititi for you, dog.
Yeah, that's fair.
Which is what pisses me off with the freaking the freaking like
that's what J-Dead. That's what Miguel.
That's what pisses me off with Gore the God Butcher, because like Taika Waititi is so good at like sets and design and costumes, and yet we get Gore the God Butcher with like white skin and a white robe. I was like, bro, what the fuck are we getting at? He looked like Gore the God Butcher looks like a minion you fight in like Elden Ring. He's like one of like the like the followers of some like giant cult. He's like,
I didn't think about that. Now that you point that out, his robe is black or like gray.
Yeah. Bro, the man's naked with. Yeah, see?
I don't like that's I didn't even notice that before.
He looks like a side character priest that you like fucking knock out in like a video games. Ones that like spawn out of nowhere.
That is cool because it's like it makes his white skin, his white like alien skin more pronounced. The black hood. But this is just, it's like white on white. Like it's just weird. It doesn't I don't know.
He looks like Ethan. He looks like what Ethan Hawke would look like whenever he was the avatar of Khonshu. He looks like he looks like Moon Knight's fucking granddad. Like, get me the fuck out of here, dude.
Especially with Christian. I would die. I would literally just crawl in a hole and die if we get the cool all gods must die moment from the comic books with Gore when he's holding the sword and he's got the hood on, because that's a cool moment in his comic book storyline. Like he's holding the sword and he's got the hood up and he just looks up and says all gods must die, like, and in that comic book arc. And what if we did that, but he did it in like his Dark Knight trilogy voice, where he was like, instead of like a cool all gods must die, it would be like all gods must die. He did it in like the Batman voice. Where's the trigger? J-Net says looks like a bad guy in the Da Vinci Code.
That's what I was trying to fucking think of. That's like a religious cult, like one of those like followers or
Like you said,
whatnot.
like
It's
Cult of
bro,
Thorn, right? Like look at
yeah,
somebody who's in the Cult of Thorn.
that's what fucking gets
Very
me. And I'm
strange.
pretty sure he's gonna be a one-time villain. Because there's a running joke where like Loki's
Yeah.
giving a class to all of the other villains in Marvel, and it's like how to not be a
How to
one-time
last more
villain
than
in the
one movie,
Marvel MCU. Yeah, because Loki's the only one
unless
that's
you're
been there
Thanos.
in multiple movies.
Well, Thanos was, but I mean,
Bro, Loki was in more, but Thanos was in
oh well,
like
yeah, Thanos was
two.
more.
But and he died. Like that's the thing. Loki is not dead technically.
I always forget another thing. I don't know why I always forget so much. I think it's because Guardians of the Galaxy goes in so many different places, but like, I feel like I always like another thing. I like we were talking about forgetting Stallone is in it. I always forget that Thanos is in that movie for as much as he is. We actually get quite a bit of Thanos in the first Guardians movie when he's doing the whole thing with Ronan and he's talking with Loki and like you know what I mean. Like,
that was like the first introduction of Thanos technically.
yeah, yeah. Like we really
Wait, did
get
Age
him
of
a lot.
Ultron come in like
Age of
before or
the
after?
I think after. I think it was after.
Okay,
I think Age of
yeah, I
Ultron
could
was
see that.
after Guardians.
I could see that. Yeah,
That was the final do it myself. The only thing about Thanos is he went like 3 or 4 different shades of purple. It was like every movie he got like to be a darker purple. like
yeah,
he
right?
started off like the TVs like in our like 80s retro background.
He had a
just got,
human hand. He had a human hand when he like got up and did that.
Did
when
he?
he got off at the throne in Avengers, yeah, he had a human hand. It wasn't purple. It was just a normal hand, and then his face was purple.
Even
and
the
it wasn't.
gauntlet looked different. The gauntlet was like super yellow. When he puts it on, it says "Fine, I'll do it myself," and then it cuts to black. Like it was. I don't know. His look did change a little bit from.
Yeah,
Guardians
I'll be honest
1
though.
To Age of Ultron and then to Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah, the Thanos that I loved the most was definitely in Guardians of the Galaxy. Because it was the way he like turned around and was like, the only thing that bothers me is you, boy. like that whole monologue right there, your demeanor of a pouty child. I was like, fuck, dude, that's Ronan the Accuser. And you just turned into a little bitch boy. I was like,
well, I think that was part of the idea though, is because like Ronan is a pretty established hardcore villain, and the fact that Thanos like treats him like he's,
like dirt, yeah, like
he
a
treats
speck
him
of dust,
like a dad that's like scolding their son. You know what I mean? Like you're nothing to me, kind of thing.
I will bathe in the stallway of your blood. I was like, holy fuck,
yeah. It's like wow, we're really going here, man. Like
yeah, where was that threat in Infinity War and Endgame? I was like, fucking hell,
yeah. I don't know, man. That's cool. Do you think that do you think maybe even in Multiverse of Madness, like, first of all, are we ever going to see Thanos again?
Maybe. I don't know.
I think it'd be kind of cool to, even if you're going, because, I mean, you got to think all those different universes and all those different timelines where Thanos won are still timelines. Like, I always thought it was interesting, even if you just, like, even if there was a scene, like, and I even thought of this in Spider-Man No Way Home, like, even if we thought of this, like, as, Spider-Man or Strange or whoever is passing through different timelines, like what if they briefly passed through a timeline where Thanos won? Like Thanos got what he wanted and he killed all the Avengers and he killed all the universe, and you know what I mean? Like that would have been like, whoa, like holy crap, that would have been
crazy. That'd be cool. But instead we got Thanos that got, he got convinced not to do it by T'Challa, and all of a sudden he's a bartender. Like,
right? Or to see Ultron kill Thanos or something like that. I don't think we've seen
Ultron did kill Thanos.
What?
At the end of What If? Yeah.
I know.
Thanos came out and he had the gauntlet, and then Ultron was like, interesting, and just fucking split him in half.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like it'd be cool to see that stuff. Even if he was just in it for like 2 seconds, I think that'd be cool. I don't think we've seen the last of Ultron.
Oh god, not at all.
I think
that What If episode was just like a precursor of like things to come. Yeah. It had to.
Definitely, man. J-Dad says, okay, who's your dream cast for Fantastic Four? Holy crap, that's a big question. I don't know. I like the John Krasinski Emily Blunt thing, although I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know. I would have to think on that one.
We'll get back to you on that, J-Dad.
Yeah, we'll come back to that in another show because I would have to think on that a little bit because that's kind of that could be really cool or that could be really bad. Like, You know what I mean? I don't know. Fantastic Four is one of those properties where it's just like it's so easy to mess it up, and I don't know why.
Yeah,
I don't know
like
why
it's the first family, isn't it?
Yeah,
Isn't that the name for them? Like the first family?
yeah. Because
So
they're a
like
family,
there has to be like they have to be like a good chemistry with one another.
Yeah.
So the
Jada
cast
says
has to be like it.
Chris Pine is Reed, Ben Foster is the Team and Torch, Jonah Hill is Ben. Not sure for Invisible Woman. I don't know about Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill.
I don't know about Jonah Hill. I think it'd be too silly. And I like Jonah Hill. That's nothing against Jonah Hill. I just feel like Ben Grimm. I actually really liked Michael Chiklis as Ben Grimm. I thought he was funny, but I also thought he pulled off the whole, like, he's self-conscious about the way he looks, and he's kind of, because Ben Grimm is always kind of like, he's not really happy that he's the thing,
I wouldn't be either if my dick was a boulder. The fuck?
Yeah. So I don't know. I think, listen, people, you can hate on me all you want, anybody watching, but I actually kind of dig the original two Fantastic Four movies. Not the middle one, that was garbage. Not the most recent one, but with what's his name? The guy with Jessica Alba and Ian Gruffudd, with
Chris Evans.
With Chris Evans as the Human Torch. I actually liked those. I thought they were kind of cool movies. They were pretty cool. And I kind of dig the fact that a lot of them are rumored to return for Multiverse of Madness. I think that's pretty cool. That's pretty dope. I'm down
I think
for
they'll be alluded, but I don't think they'll be in it.
I don't know, man. They're saying Ian Gruffudd is in it, that he is playing a variant of Reed Richards. Bless you.
We'll have to see.
So we will see. Let's go over to Stranger Things. Let's talk Stranger Things. VECNA.
Let's get strange, guys.
Sounds like a bad STD. Is the new Freddy
Bro,
Krueger.
that's what Gore the God Butcher should fucking look like.
Right? I know. Of the Stranger Things universe.
Oh my
the
God.
official trailer for Stranger Things 4 made its way online this week, giving us a nice little preview of the horrors that await in the brand new season. Volume 1 of Season 4 heads to Netflix May 27th, ahead of Volume 2 on July 1st. And we know now that the next batch of episodes take place 6 months after the events of Season 3. Here's the official synopsis. It's been 6 months since the Battle of Starcourt, which brought terror and destruction to Hawkins.
That's not long either.
It's really not long. I kind of thought it would be longer. I didn't know that. Struggling with the aftermath of our group of friends are separated for the first time, and navigating the complexities of high school haven't made things any easier. In this most vulnerable
The
time,
scariest of them all. High school.
Yeah, right. High school, the worst villain. Also, Freddy's Nightmares, dude. The ad. You can watch Freddy's Nightmares on Screambox. I don't know what that is. I'd love to watch it. That'd be fun. That'd be a fun watch. It's been 6 months. We already read that. In this most vulnerable time, a new and horrifying supernatural threat surfaces, presenting a gruesome mystery that, if solved, might finally put an end to the horrors of the Upside Down. This season's new and horrifying supernatural threat was glimpsed in the Stranger Things trailer this week, and we've learned that the evil character is named VECNA. Like previous Stranger Things villains, including the Demogorgon and the Mind Flayer, VECNA is named after a classic Dungeons and Dragons character, first appearing in the 1970s. As Wikipedia explains, VECNA has been named as one of the greatest villains in Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know why I keep saying that. Originally from the world of Greyhawk campaigning setting, VECNA was described as a powerful wizard who once became a light. What is that word? Like?
Where?
I don't know what that is. Who once became LICH.
Who became a licked.
I don't know. He was eventually destroyed, and his left hand and left eye were the only parts of his body were to survive. Even after he achieved godhood, whatever. Being a member of the third edition's default pantheon. This is a lot of really crazy words of D&D gods, the pantheon of Oerth. This is why I don't play Dungeons and Dragons. I can't do it. He is still described as missing both his left eye and his left hand. Like his D&D counterpart, the VECNA of Stranger Things also appears to be a desiccated corpse, and he may very well be the key to unlocking many of the mysteries of the Stranger Things universe. The Season 4 trailer presents VECNA as a big bad like the ones that we haven't seen quite yet from the series before, designed to be the show's own Freddy Krueger. Now,
That's an interesting take.
That's an interesting thought. Now, here's the deal.
Is it gonna go in people's dreams?
I don't think it's gonna go in people's dreams. Here's my thought: is if you look back at that trailer, there's a lot of footage of them all inside of the Upside Down. Like they're riding their bikes, like the whole crew of them, they're riding their bikes through, like they're in the Upside Down, you know? My thought is, what if they kind of do the Freddy thing, but instead of Freddy being in your dreams or VECNA being in your dreams, VECNA, what if he is like the Freddy of the Upside Down? When they're in the Upside Down, he can do like whatever he wants. Like he's a Freddy type character where he kind of makes crazy things happen and he can do all those things. Like I think that's kind of cool, you know? So that's kind of my thought.
He looks at the crew and he's like, all gods must die. And then I'd be like, all right, Thor, Love and Thunder.
If they really want to do a Freddy reference, it's like one of his first lines. He looks at them and he's like, welcome to prime time, bitch. They do like a full-on Freddy reference. Creators Matt and Ross Duffer reveal in IGN's trailer breakdown, we wanted to introduce the idea right away that there is a major new threat. We've always wanted to do our whatever version of a Freddy Krueger or a Pinhead or a Pennywise, kind of, again, 80s, going back to like the 80s horror villains, because those were the monsters, the villains, the supernatural villains that terrified us the most when we were growing up. That's awesome. And I think that's really cool. Yeah. It's something we've wanted to do since season 2, and it just took us this long to get there, the Duffer brothers continue. But this is something we've been waiting to do for a long time.
I've had said season 2, you had the Mind Slayer. Like the fuck?
Yeah. Of course, the mention of Freddy Krueger is an interesting one here, as horror icon Robert Englund has joined the cast of Stranger Things in season 4.
Hell yeah.
The mysterious character Victor Creel, who has been described as a disturbed man who is imprisoned in a psychiatric hospital for a gruesome murder in the 1950s. Creel looks to be a major player in the events of season 4, and the first glimpse of Englund's character in the trailer this week, seen below, shows us that he's missing both of his eyes. How could he be connected to the villainous VECNA? There is Robert Englund missing his eyes, man. Gross. Like, he doesn't look good, man.
I like how the story's going, dude.
Yeah, I do too. Do you like the idea of there being like a Freddy type character in there?
Yeah, and maybe this guy is connected somehow.
Like a main villain, you know? Like maybe the Demogorgon, the Mind Slayer, like those are kind of side villains, and now maybe
avatars. Bro, how the fuck is the Mind Slayer the fucking
force? I know.
Yeah, right?
Right. Like how bad must VECNA be if Mind Slayer was not the main course? You know?
Yeah, right.
Like that's pretty wild. It's pretty crazy, man. It's wild sauce, and I like it. So there's a better image of VECNA. He's got all the tethers. He kind of looks like Carnage there. I'm not gonna lie. That was the first
little bit. He looks trapped right here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know if he's trapped
like once
or if those are like the tendrils are like coming from him. You know? I don't know.
Yeah, I could see that.
I could see it going both ways. He looks like he's trapped, but he also looks like he's like in control. You know?
Bro, like I'd be like, this is what pisses me off. I almost mistaken that for Carnage, and I mistaken it for Gore the God Butcher. It's like, bro, like, how the fuck is Stranger Things making dope ass villains right now?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty dope, man.
Marvel, take some notes, dog.
With Robert Englund starring in the new season, and the new season's big bad being based on Freddy Krueger. Well, let's
notice that this first picture right here is kind of referencing to like Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Let's say we won't be surprised to see the series play into that connection. Stranger Things has always been heavily influenced by 80s horror movies, including A Nightmare on Elm Street, which we just recorded our commentary for the other night. It's going to be great. So we could be in store for a full-on Elm Street homage. In fact, the Stranger Things 4 trailer is loaded with little winks and nods to A Nightmare on Elm Street, including the first shot that shows VECNA looking very, very Freddy-like. And he does, like you just pointed out, even everything like the claws, the nails, like, and that's that same Freddy. Like we talked about this in our commentary of Elm Street, like the way Robert Englund stood, because the glove was heavy because it was made out of metal, like, and he kind of stood like with one shoulder kind of drooped down. And that kind of is the same way that VECNA looks right here. Like he kind of has that like tilted, weird look. I think it's really cool, man.
It looks like he's crip walking to his victims.
Right? It's pretty cool, man. It looks dope. So I think those were the only images. Yep, those were the only ones. So we had the Freddy Krueger VECNA stance. We had full-on VECNA. And then we had nasty-looking Robert Englund. So pretty cool, man. I'm super stoked. I am genuinely really intrigued to see what they do with this season. I think
Yeah, because I thought
there's
it
a
was going to
lot
get
of
very like Russian vibe, like
yeah, me
Cold
too.
War vibes on it, which I'm sure it will at some point. Like it'll be like
Yeah.
undertones, but I'm glad it's cool to see that they have like a new like villain. Because in our head, we're probably thinking like, bro, how the fuck is the Mind Slayer? Like, how are we gonna top the Mind Slayer
Yeah.
right
Like,
now?
are we really going to make Russia the new villain? You know,
Yeah,
like especially in this climate, like, do we really want to do that?
yeah,
But yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I think it's
that's
different.
probably why
I
they
think
did it.
they're going full. I think they're going full on 80s horror in this one. This is pretty cool. J-Dead said his chin is looking like old gray balls. you talk about Robert Englund's chin.
Yeah,
Also,
that's gold.
I freaking love the first 2 seasons of Stranger Things. I could barely finish 3. Hopefully the 4th picks it back up. I liked 3. I actually thought 3 was one of my favorite seasons. I thought it was pretty good. It did kind of branch out. The characters branched out a little bit. They were kind of separate a lot more. But I mean, it kind of makes sense though. Like I think from a storytelling perspective, like they're getting older. They're in high school now. And what happens? I mean, let's be honest. I know I didn't have barely any of the same friends in high school as I had in middle school. You know what I mean? Like you just you grow into different groups and you kind of, you change, which it's different because these kids have all been through years and years of traumatic crap going on, with finding a new dimension and whatever else. But especially
Right?
for Will, because bad things always happen to Will.
Some people find an abandoned house.
I know,
These
right?
people found an abandoned like fucking universe. So yeah.
Right. So I mean, I'm super stoked for it. I don't have super heavy predictions because I think we're getting to the point now where it's so off the chain. I don't think you can really make predictions for this show.
And it's
You know
like
what I
so
mean?
spaced out, so we kind of can't really see like
Yeah.
how things are connected.
And there's even this whole discussion of like, how do you want Stranger Things to end? Like, how does it all end? What's the end game of this franchise? And it's like, I don't really know. I don't know how I want this to end.
Well, they
Like,
know they want. They don't. They're not going to keep going.
I know they said season 5 will be it. Like that'll be, that'll be it. They're like, I think next season will be it, which makes sense because the Duffer Brothers had said like this is not a series that's just going to go on and on and on. Like they already had, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, when they wrote season 1, they had an ending in mind. Like I think they kind of mapped out the entire series like from the beginning, which is cool. I think that's a really good way of storytelling. You know what I mean? Because then again, as much as I love The Walking Dead, I do, but I think The Walking Dead you could cut at least a season of episodes out of that show. You really could. I mean, not like one whole like any one season, but I mean like
The amount of episodes you could cut.
Yeah. Which again, it's a different thing. It's a world building thing. Like they're building an apocalyptic world, an apocalyptic universe. So like I kind of understand it a little bit more, but this doesn't strike me as a show that you could keep going for 10 seasons, 11 seasons, 12 seasons. Like you just can't because the kids are going to be 30. I mean, what are you going to have them 30 and with 4 kids by then,
I'm just saying, Stephen King's It.
But that's also a different kind of story too. You know what I mean? That's like
drama.
facing the monster when you're a kid versus facing the monster as an adult. Like I think it's just different.
No,
you know what I mean? I don't know.
This entire season is a love. This entire fucking show is a love letter to 80s horror. Why the fuck not?
Well, that's what 80s horror said. Why the hell not? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why not?
So yeah, that's really that was really the motto of like 80s horror. Why the fuck not?
We sending Jason to space? Sure.
Why not?
You want Freddy to fight Jason? Sure.
Why not?
You want
Michael because we talked about that in the commentary about like how like Freddy versus Jason was like alluded in like one of the older like Jason movies, and then like a decade later just came back.
Yeah. 80s horror was literally just like write that down. And they're just shoving ideas at the screen.
Yeah, like the executives come into a door and right by the door is like a table, and each is like a line of Coke, like with each given name. It's like, all right, guys, bang one out because we got like 5 hours. Keep going.
You just see people just type it away.
Jason in space.
Dude, I feel like that's how like New Nightmare happened. This whole like meta thing where it's like
Right.
like Freddy comes out of the movies and starts doing Freddy things to the actors of the people that were in the movie. And it's like, how did he come up with that? Like, what? You know,
Yeah, right.
like that's so it's such a it really is. I love New Nightmare, but it's such a strange concept. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Like
it definitely is. I would say
Freddy in
Freddy's
Robert
definitely like top
Englund.
tier. He's like tier S in regards to like horror icons.
I know it's like Robert Englund played Freddy, but Freddy is actually in Robert Englund's dreams, haunting
That's
Robert
fucked.
Englund. It's just like what? Like it kind of makes your brain hurt. It's like wait a minute, but this is not. It's like Heather Langenkamp is the main character, and it's like yay Nancy, and then it's like but wait a minute, but she's not Nancy. Like it's she, you know what I mean? It's like but it's not. Like you know it's just funny, man. They threw everything at the wall, but it's what I listen. It's what gave us 80s horror. It's what gave us Jason Takes Manhattan.
Yeah,
And I know everybody hates Jason Takes Manhattan, but dude, I love Jason Takes Manhattan. It's stupid.
it's just a
It
fun
is
movie.
like don't get me wrong, it's stupid, but it's so fun.
So
You know
stupid,
what
it's
I mean?
fun.
Seeing Jason like walk through diners and walk through the subway system in New York like that, who would have thought of that? You know?
Right.
No, I mean it's so outlandish. But let us know what you guys think. Where do you want to see Stranger Things season 4 go, and what are you expecting from VECNA? VECNA. So
He sounds
last
Russian.
story,
So.
VECNA. Last
Vietnam.
story of the day. And I know Hunter Iggy, if you're still listening, buddy, we are finally to the DC news. So we did our last episode, our previous episode, number 68. We kind of did a full rant about the DCEU and about the status of it and kind of what has gotten us to this point. I kind of said I felt, excuse me, I felt like
That's an educator, guys.
shut up. It's Saturday. I felt like the DCU is kind of gone, and I think it's to the point where it's such a mess. How do you know, Hunter asked us at the beginning of the show, do we want Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck and Gal Gadot to continue playing their characters? And part of me says yes, and another part of me just like nope, just start it all over, just completely reboot the whole thing. And now coming out since the Warner Brothers since we did that episode, and
They watched our show.
right? Since there's been more coming out about Warner Brothers Discovery. And I mean, look, everybody's talking about this. I mean, this is major news right now. Since the Warner Brothers Discovery merger has been completed, a lot of news has come out about plans to kind of switch out a lot of the staff members from DC, and there are even talks of DC becoming its own like studio, like we have Marvel Studios, and Kevin Feige is the president, and he's kind of the overseer of all of the different Marvel projects. I think Warner Brothers Discovery is wanting to kind of build DC into that thing. So we'll talk about it in a minute. Two stories here, and one is specifically about the DC president. Another one is about kind of the whole overarching thing. Coming to us from geekosity.com, Mikey Sutton. They're great scoopers. Really, really great website
to the
for
feast.
really different, really great website for movie scoops and things like that. And again, being attacked with ads, but it's fine. Written by Mikey Sutton, Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav is looking to replace DC Films president Walter Hamada. This is part of Zaslav's plan to restructure DC Entertainment. Variety broke DC Entertainment's overhaul yesterday as they reported David Zaslav, the CEO of the combined companies, and top leadership have been toying with the idea of turning DC into its own solidified content vertical. If this sounds familiar, I'd already scooped it on February 1st in Sai Abdul's YouTube channel. Watch it here. At this time, insiders revealed Zaslav considered renaming it DC Studios. Zaslav may or may not keep it that name, but the idea is the same. Whatever it's called, it would consolidate Warner Brothers Discovery's various DC properties, such as film, TV, and the original comic book. So, in the way that it would be different from Marvel Studios, well, kind of different, is that, you know, Marvel Entertainment, Marvel, not Marvel Studios, Marvel as, you know, Stan Lee's brand, is still kind of in charge of the comic books and the extra things, a lot of the animated things. Marvel Studios is basically only involved with things related to the MCU. You know what I mean? And yes, they're starting to branch out. We're getting the Spider-Man first year show. We're getting all the MCU shows, Loki and WandaVision and Moon Knight and, all those things. But they're very specific to the MCU and what they're doing. This is kind of, at least to me, this sounds like they're wanting what DC Studios is going to be it's going to be movies, it's going to be comic books, it's going to be everything. Everything from standalone movies to the DCEU, it's all going to be under one umbrella. Now, could that work? I think it could. Do you
I'm not gonna hold my breath?
I know. I mean, there's potential for it to be too much too. I think that there's an opportunity for it to be a lot as well. So there's Walter Hamada with Jason Momoa. Zaslav wants someone like Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige to run it. No, it won't be Feige, but an individual with his. No, I'm not saying no. It will not be Kevin Feige himself. It won't be to the extent of what he's done. But it will be an individual with his visionary talent. On June 1st, 2021, we leaked that DC Films under Discovery would resemble Marvel Studios. Geekosity staff writer Edwin Francisco wrote, David is already,
It's Edwin,
whatever. Zaslav is already looking into how to improve the DC films by restructuring it similar to Marvel Studios. To clarify, structurally, not stylistically, because DC films might have a central figure to be in charge of their movie and TV properties. This will be their version of Kevin Feige at Marvel Studios. Likewise, Variety added, before the merger closed, Zaslav vetted candidates with experience in creating and nurturing blockbuster intellectual property with a goal of potentially finding someone to serve as a creative and strategic czar, similar to what Marvel has in Kevin Feige. On April 6th, I stated Walter Hamada's days as DC Films president are numbered. An insider revealed then Hamada won't stick around one way or another. There was gossip of Zaslav either removing DC Films or transforming it into DC Studios. That would consolidate everything in the DC banner. Hamada isn't expected to continue with either decision. In other words, the puzzle pieces are falling into place. Sources indicate that Zaslav won't fire Walter Hamada immediately. Zaslav is still in the transition stage. He may have begun the bloodbath quickly. That's one way to put it. Jeez.
Fuck.
But he needs Walter Hamada to pass the baton to the new person. Per Variety, DC Films hasn't unlocked the full potential of the DC Comics universe of characters. Walter Hamada is among those to blame for such failure. The road that leads to #Restore the Snyderverse lights up where there once was only darkness. Now, so that's kind of the first piece.
Why did that article sound like a fucking comic book narration? Jesus.
I know, right? So they are looking to replace the DC Films president and for DC Films to become DC Studios as kind of the same idea as what Marvel is, with one creative visionary to kind of go through there, or to be the central figure in the whole thing. Again, I think that could work, but that's a lot. Again, Marvel Studios only deals with things related to the MCU. Kevin Feige isn't over comic books and animated things and this and that. Like, he's not over everything Marvel. He is the creative visionary for the MCU and all of those storylines. Now, I think that's fine if they do this with one person over everything.
Zaslav bets everyone. He's like, so your name is Feige Kevin? And you have experience in doing this type of stuff, right? And he's like, yeah, over 20 years. I'm like, sounds good to me.
I see you started with Spider-Man in 2002. Yep, that's all.
Did you perhaps work closely with Kevin Feige? He's like, yeah, we're close.
I see you also worked with Stan Lee. Don't you work for Marvel? No.
No.
Nope. What's Marvel? I don't know what Marvel is. What are you talking about?
Kevin Feige goes into the fucking interview and instead of like the bald head and cap, he has like an actual wig. It's like the
wig and like
Lex Luthor
fake, handlebar mustache.
Yeah, the Lex Luthor wig, like the curly hairs and all that shit. Yeah. I can see that. I see you're really into this part. I see you're a really good DC fan. I don't know.
That's pretty funny.
But it's just like, how do you find that? Kevin Feige was built. He wasn't found.
Right, exactly. They built that over time. They built what
Yeah.
he did, and they built that whole thing. So, the other article that I wanted to get to before we get out of here about
Are you
this
gonna
kind of
zoom in his fucking mouth? Jesus,
DC,
dog.
about this big DC overhaul comes to us from Screen Rant. Warner Bros. Has major DC movie and TV overhaul plan following the merger. That has resulted in Warner Brothers Discovery. The new version of the company is looking to overhaul the DC movies and TV shows. Following the merger that resulted in Warner Brothers Discovery, the new version of the company is looking to shape up its strategy for DC movies and TV shows. For several decades, one of the biggest properties that Warner Brothers has had control over in the DC universe is the DC universe characters. With major characters like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Joker, Lex Luthor, the Justice League, and thousands of more, DC has for the longest time stood as one of the biggest comic book branches globally. Some of the most famous superhero movies include various DC characters that have continued to evolve even after a decade. From a
I said, because like DC owns every single character.
I know. That's what makes it so crappy. It's like you what? Like you own so many cool characters, and you're choosing to tell such terrible stories with those
like
characters.
Marvel has lost like over like at least they still trying to get like at least 35% of the characters that they've like sold in their bankruptcy suit. Yet they're still doing okay.
But I think they've gotten most of them back. I think Marvel's doing pretty good. Like honestly,
I think the last is honestly like Fantastic Four and
but they have Fantastic Four. They have all of that. I think they have all the
who does Sony own then?
I think Sony is just Spider-Man characters. Sony is Spider-Man and everybody related to Spider-Man. I think that's pretty much it. I think, but now that Disney and Sony are kind of in
bed together,
yeah, pretty much.
They're like in bed together, but they won't do anything. Kind of relationship.
I know they just like sit and like smoke cigarettes and drink beers. Like that's pretty much all they do. So I mean, I think they own most of the characters. So from a financial standpoint, the DC content is some of the most profitable branches for Warner Brothers. Whether it be the Dark Knight trilogy, the ever-expanding Arrowverse, or the newer content that is coming to HBO Max, Warner Brothers has always had plenty to pull from for its DC universe. Still, compared to its most visible competitor, the DCEU has faltered while the MCU has soared. Perfect way of putting it. In light of the highly discussed merger between Warner Brothers and Discovery, there has been a lot of anticipation about what is going to happen with the studio's many IPs, including the DC ones. After the merger between Warner Brothers and Discovery was completed about a week ago, it looks like the DC content is about to have a massive shift. In a new report from Variety, David Zaslav, the new owner of Warner Brothers Discovery, is reportedly looking to institute a significant overhaul for the studio's DC film and TV properties. Per Variety's sources, the overhaul could essentially mean the formation of DC getting its own studio for comics, TV, and film similar to Marvel Studios. Zaslav was even exploring the idea of having a Kevin Feige type figure to oversee the business strategy and be connective tissue between the many multimedia projects. While he initially had a candidate in former Paramount executive Emma Watts, it appears she will not be taking on that role. Also, what?
Warner Bros. Discovery, the stuff that dreams are made of.
Okay. Zaslav's
I can make that on my Microsoft XS program. Like I don't fucking know.
Zaslav's focus is more about unlocking the fuller potential of the DC IPs as Warner Brothers has faced its challenges in the last few years, especially on the cinematic side of things. Based on the report, Superman appears to be one of the big properties for the new company, as the Man of Steel has been sidelined after Joss Whedon's Justice League in 2017. It also appears that individual independent projects like Joker are something Warner Brothers Discovery wants to flesh out even further, meaning more black label type films are on the way. Yes, that's what I want to hear. That is the direction I think that DC should go. Like these rated R black label films that, and I'm not even saying like the Batman, like Joker. Do more stories like that because I feel like that's where they thrive. DC really thrives with these darker, more adult storylines. And I'm not saying they have to be, nudity and drugs I'm not saying it has to be like hard R movies all the time, but just do more. I don't know. Do more.
Focus on the story of the movie, not on the whole grand scheme of it.
Yeah, like I really think they need to just think about setting the universe thing aside for just a little bit. Like do this for a little bit, build up this Batman universe, do some other Batman villain solo films, do things like that. And then revisit the universe idea with a Kevin Feige like person and be like, okay, what's our vision? What do we want? What is our end goal? You know what I mean? For
what is our end game?
I know, right? Justice League Endgame. If that comes out, then we got a problem. Having a DC Studios would perhaps be the ultimate step in the right direction as Warner Brothers Discovery takes their DC properties into the next era. For years, it has been noted that a creative strategy seems to be heavily missing. 100% accurate, despite films like Aquaman and the Batman having seen big success. While specifics still being kept under wraps for now, it wouldn't be shocking to see Zaslav lean. I cannot say his name correctly. Lean more into the multiverse angle, even more so than previously. Whether that means a continuation for the Snyderverse or a more standalone franchise like the Batman, time will tell what this looks like for Warner Brothers Discovery. Nevertheless, fans should be ready to start seeing DC films and TV series be approached very differently in the near future. Now, here's the key release dates for the DCEU. Super Pets, fun. Black Adam, Shazam, Fury of the Gods, Aquaman, The Lost Kingdom, The Flash, and Blue Beetle. Those are the next 5 films that are directly related to the DCEU. Now, here's the deal. Black Adam, Shazam, and Aquaman all come out before The Flash. My thought is, what if they use The Flash to set up the multiverse thing, and the multiverse thing is how we shift into this new creative vision? Because after we did last week's episode or Tuesday's episode, I was thinking to myself, I was like, even if you were going to completely reboot the universe, how do you reboot the DCEU without just completely forgetting all of what came before? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like each one of these movies would have to end with an end note, like no cliffhangers.
Right. Yeah, it would just be it would be like an Amazing Spider-Man 2 scenario, and I know we've kind of rectified that a little bit, but there would just be nothing. And especially with the Keaton thing, like, I'm wondering if that is how we're moving in this direction, but we slowly split and you start to build this out and this just kind of fades away. You know what I mean? And again, with everything going on with Ezra Miller, and like that whole thing, we briefly talked about that last week too, or I keep saying last week in the last episode as well. But maybe that's the way they do it. I don't know. I don't know. My question, and I'm gonna get your thoughts on this too. Do you think they have a plan moving forward, or are they trying to figure out a plan right now?
They're trying to figure out a plan.
You think they're just trying to figure out, like, they don't? Because if they had a plan and they're like, okay, this is what we want to do, this is kind of the direction we want to move, but we can't do anything until the merger is over, which now it is, and they kind of switch out all of these people at DC Films, So I don't know. I don't know what their timeline is, but I think
I wouldn't expect a solidified deal to probably 2025.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's my best thing.
Yeah. I mean, I just think that.
And I'm not talking movies. I'm just talking they actually have a plan.
Like a plan moving forward? Like they actually have a vision for what it's going to become? I can see that, yeah. Which that would put them, I mean, we have DC projects through next year.
Yep.
So that would give them 2024 to maybe just push animated things that year.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how they're going to do it. Maybe just that would give them a full, really basically 2 years to, to add what they need to add to the next 5 films and then begin to transition into this new thing. Because I think part of, or at least originally, part of the leaks, again, spoiler warning, the current rumor for a while was that Ben Affleck's Batman dies in The Flash, and Keaton's Batman, and through this multiverse Flashpoint storyline, actually is the one to help him find a new Batman. But there have been a couple of reports that are like, maybe Affleck doesn't die. That maybe they're keeping Ben Affleck for a little bit longer. So I don't know. I just don't know. It's a mess. I'm glad it's not me that has to try to figure out how to tie all this together, because it makes my brain hurt. So.
I about to say, yeah, keep a line of coke with my name on it, and I'll help you out. That's all I'm saying.
Like Hunter at the beginning, he was like, do you want to see, the main DCEU actors stay? And like, part of me says yes, and part of me says no, just because it's going to be too confusing.
Already tainted.
It's going to be too much, and it's already exactly. It's already tainted at this point. Like it's. I don't know. That was what I meant by the whole "it's too far gone" thing last show, because it's just like, where do you go from here? Like, if they were really going to try to just continue the current DCU, like, what do you do? Like, yeah, Shazam is cool. Yes, Black Adam is cool, but it's not Superman and Batman. It's not. You know what I mean? And if they recast the Flash, or if they replace the Flash, like, it's not. I mean, Superman and Batman are like their bread and butter. You know what I mean? That's their two biggest properties right there. So I don't know.
Big Mac and Coke, dog.
I know, right? Comment down below. Let us know your thoughts on what you would like to see them do with the DCEU. What do you think they need to do moving forward to get things back on track? Because as those two articles said, it's just, and again, it's not really.
They don't even know.
I don't think it's anybody's fault in specific. I think it's a lot of things that it was a lot of things that went wrong over the course of the last, when did Man of Steel come out? 2014?
Yeah.
Somewhere in there. So in the last, 15 years, I think it's just been a lot, or 15 years, the last, 7 years?
Several years,
7 years, 8 years. I think it's just been a lot of things that have gone wrong. So please let us know what you think. That is going to do it for us in episode number 69. We're almost 70. 70 episodes. It's pretty
70. Wait, no, that's fucking wrong.
Do you know math? No. See, I'm bad. Actually, it's the opposite. I'm terrible at math. And I don't know. I guess you were pretty good at English, weren't you? I was good at English.
No.
I just get tongue tied. But I'm terrible at math. I am god awful at math. Awful.
That's an educator show, guys.
That's okay. It's all right. So, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. If you are watching after the fact, please be sure to leave this episode a like and consider subscribing to our channels. We do new shows Our channel? I can't talk. I need to go mow the lawn. We do new shows every single Tuesday and Saturday at 8 p.m. and 10 a.m. Eastern. Please be sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at We Talk the Movies. And please leave us a comment down below. As always, we want to hear your thoughts and what you have to say. So you have a great rest of your weekend. Thank you guys so much. We promise Purely and Simply Evil Season 2 is on its way. And we are super stoked about all of that stuff coming. So without further ado, peace.
Peace.
VECNA.